Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Sunday, August 20th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with AEW Collision broadcast live last night on TNT from the Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. In the main event, Darby Allin pinned Christian Cage but was attacked after the match by Luchasaurus.
Hang on a second here. He was thrown out.
And now, wait a minute, Luchasaurus.
2-on-1.
Yeah, Cage decked him from behind. Darby never saw it coming.
Oh, Allen's leaving tonight on a stretcher.
Oh! Man, what a slam dunk that was.
And now, the decision has been wrong. Come on now, wait a second.
2. What's your body to count the
Yes,
ball?
come on.
That's it, that'll be official.
The show opened with CM Punk accepting the challenge of Ring of Honor World TV champion Samoa Joe for a match at All In on August 27th. Punk was initially disguised as the Golden Vampire for a match with Joe, but jumped in before the bout could start and unmasked to reveal himself.
I accept, bitch.
Wow! That took about a minute. Oh my goodness!
Get a chance to even tell you the story. Samoa Joe challenged CM Punk to a match. Punk chose not to respond, so Joe choked him out. Didn't ask him a second time. Now Joe got the answer, but perhaps not the one he wanted.
In other results, Jay White defeated Dalton Castle, the Guns and Juice Robinson beat the Iron Savages and Jack Jameson, Big Bill went over Derek Neal, and Willow Nightingale beat Diamante. With some more All Elite Wrestling news, here's the Wrestling News' Lou Kipilman.
AEW has surpassed 80,000 tickets distributed for All In at Wembley Stadium on August 27th. With WrestleTix reporting on Friday night that a total of 80,846 tickets had been distributed, including 75,445 tickets sold and the remaining 5,401 in comps. That will make All In the all-time European wrestling attendance record, with a total that surpasses the number of people the WWF put in Wembley Stadium for the only other wrestling show ever held there, SummerSlam 92, which had 79,127 tickets distributed, and 78,927 of them paid. The WWF announced the attendance of SummerSlam 92 at the time as 80,355. The all-time live attendance record for wrestling currently remains WrestleMania 32 in 2016, which had 93,730 tickets distributed to AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, with a paid attendance record of 80,709 tickets sold. WWE has advertised an admittedly inflated number of 101,763 for the show. Pyongyang, North Korea's April 1995 International Sports and Cultural Festival for Peace holds the all-time wrestling attendance technically, with 150,000 on night 1 and 165,000 on night 2. But those figures are typically disregarded due to the North Korean government making attendance mandatory for its citizens. 4,626 tickets remain available for All In, with a total current setup for a potential sellout of 85,472. For the Wrestling News, I'm Lou Kipilman.
Turning to news from the Japanese companies, New Japan held its first ever North American All-Star Junior Festival inside the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia on Saturday. The event brought together 39 junior heavyweight wrestlers from 10 promotions throughout North America, including AEW, Impact, and CMLL. Last night's main event featured the finals of a one-night four-man tournament and saw Speedball Mike Bailey defeat Kevin Knight in the final. Earlier in the night, Knight had beaten Clark Connors to advance, while Bailey had defeated Francesco Akira. The team of Doki and Lowrider claimed the first ever Pat's King of Steaks Philly Cheesesteak Cup. as they survived a triple threat ladder match which also included Hiromu Takahashi and Rocky Romero and Blake Christian and Master Wato. CMLL luchador Soberano Jr. won a 5-way match over Fugaz, Dragon Kid, Casey Navarro, and Leo Rush. In a Lucky Dip 8-man tag team match where the teams were determined on the spot, Kosei Fujita, Robbie Eagles, Chris Bay, and Impact World Champion Alex Shelley defeated TJP, Ace Austin, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Cheeseburger. More traditional tag team matches saw El Desperado and Mao defeat the East-West Express team of Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne. Matt Sydal and Yo defeated Bushi and Shun Skywalker. And in a 6-man match, Rich Swann, Ryusuke Taguchi, and the DKC topped Jack Cartwheel, Starboy Charlie, and Real One. And in the lone pre-show match, Goldie defeated Vinny Pacifico. New Japan Pro Wrestling returns to the 2300 Arena tonight for the Multiverse United 2 show they're co-promoting with Impact Wrestling. The Dragon Gate promotion ran one of their biggest shows of the year today, Dangerous Gate 23, from the Ota City General Gymnasium in Tokyo. All of the company's champions retained their titles. In the main event, Madoka Kakuta retained the Open the Dreamgate Championship and made his second defense of the title by turning back the challenge of Kota Minoura. In a triple threat match, Open the Twin Gate Tag Team Champions Susumu Mochizuki and Yasushi Kanda defeated HYO and Kai and Jackie Funky Kamei and Jason Lee. And Ishin retained the Open the Brave Gate title by defeating Mochizuki Jr. The All Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Road Tag Team Tournament began on Saturday inside Tokyo's Korakuen Hall. First round match results saw Dan Tamura defeat Kotaro Suzuki, Takuya Nomura pinned Hokuto Omori, Satoshi Kojima lariated Rei Saito, and Shuji Ishikawa topped Ren Abe. The 4 remaining first round matches will take place on Monday at Shinkiba in Tokyo. The show was main evented by an All Japan World Tag Team title match, which saw Kento Miyahara and Yuma Aoyagi make their third defense, holding off the challenge of Yuji Nagata and Ryuki Honda after Miyahara pinned Honda. Pro Wrestling Noah's N1 Victory League tournament continued at the Shadowreze Gato Kingdom in Sapporo on Saturday. In Block A matches, Yuki Yoshioka defeated Adam Brooks, Jack Morris beat Keno, and in the main event, Jake Lee wrestled Masa Kitamiya to a 30-minute time limit draw. While over in the B block, Daiki Inaba topped Saxon Huxley, Katsuhiko Nakajima beat Yuma Anzai, and Lance Anoa'i pinned Go Shiozaki. Now taking a look at Game Changer Wrestling's Homecoming Weekend Day 1, here's the Wrestling News' Lou Kipilman.
Game Changer Wrestling's Homecoming Weekend kicked off last night in Atlantic City, New Jersey, at the Showboat Hotel. There were 2 title matches on the show. Rina Yamashita pinned Takashi Sasaki to retain the GCW Ultraviolent title, and Toru Sugiura stopped John Wayne Murdoch to retain the Japanese-based King of Freedom World title. In keeping with the theme of the night, the main event of the GCW show saw Violento Jack defeat Matt Tremont in another death match. Also on the show, Joey Janela and Sawyer Wreck beat Charles Mason and Perro in a double dog-collar chain match. Maki Ito and Nick Gage beat Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander. In a 6-person tag, Ali Catch, Dark Sheik, and Effie knocked off Crazy King, Ciclope, and Miedo Extremo. Jimmy Lloyd pinned Ares to win a scramble match, which also included Shane Mercer, Ninja Mac, Cole Radrick, Dante Leon, Commander, and Gringo Loco. Tony Deppen replaced an injured El Hijo del Vikingo and defeated Alex Zane. Masha Slamovich choked out Nate Webb, and in the opener, Leon Slater beat Alec Price. GCW closes its weekend with another show at the building today. For the Wrestling News, I'm Lou Kipilman.
And in ratings news, overnight numbers are in for last Friday's SmackDown, showing that the episode drew 2.233 million viewers to Fox, according to Programming Insider. That would be a decrease from the previous week's overnight number of 2.650 million. The overnight rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was 0.53, also down from the previous week. Full ratings figures for SmackDown are expected later on this week. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.